Today we'll delve into the golden rules of Stoicism through these videos for an hour. From the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius to the fundamental principles that have the power to transform our lives. We'll share how this ancient philosophy can be applied in the modern world to help us face daily challenges and find deeper meaning in our existence. As we embark on this journey, I invite you to reflect on your own life, to question your beliefs, and to consider how the principles of Stoicism can help you achieve greater mental clarity, lasting inner peace, and a deeper connection with the world around you. Get ready to immerse yourself in the wisdom of the Stoics to learn timeless lessons that will guide you toward a more fulfilling and meaningful life. This journey is not just an exploration of Stoicism, but also an opportunity to transform your perspective and find a path to authentic happiness and inner fulfillment. Let's begin. We live in a world full of distractions and constant worries, and it's easy to fall into the trap of overthinking. Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, reminded us of the fundamental truth. The power over our minds resides within ourselves. We cannot control external events, but we do have control over how we react and process those events in our minds. Stay until the end of this video. The last piece of advice for overcoming overanalysis will invite you to deeply reflect on your life so far. Join us throughout the video and discover a revelation that will change your perspective on your own journey. The common experience of a mind filled with noise and incessant thoughts is something we all share at some point in our lives. The frustration of being trapped in an endless cycle of ruminations, the indecision that paralyzes us, and the feeling of being overwhelmed by constant analysis are challenges many of us face. The problem with overthinking is that it traps us in a state of constant worry about the future or the past, instead of allowing us to fully enjoy the present. We find ourselves caught in a spiral that prevents us from making clear decisions and living serenely. If you're looking for ways to break this cycle and reclaim your mental space, you're in the right place. Let's begin. 1. Change your perspective to gratitude. Our minds can be deceptive, often leading us into a maze of overanalysis about what we lack, what could go wrong, or what we have not yet achieved. This is an endless loop that can leave us feeling exhausted and discontented. Overthinking often arises from a focus on the negative aspects or on what has not yet happened in life, obscuring the good things that are already present. Seneca once said that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxiously depending on the future. This gem of Stoic wisdom urges us to shift our perspective from lack to abundance, from overanalysis to gratitude. It's about recognizing the value of the present moment and the many blessings we often overlook when we're busy worrying about what's to come. The practice of gratitude takes us out of the ruts of our minds and plants us firmly in the rich soil of the present, where life truly happens. To make this shift, start by acknowledging 3 things you are grateful for each day. They don't have to be big, just genuine. They can be as simple as a delicious cup of coffee, the comfort of your favorite hoodie, or a message from a friend. This simple practice can divert your mind from the cycle of overanalysis to a sense of appreciation for what is right now in your life. By anchoring yourself in gratitude, you're not only silencing the noise of overthinking, but you're also enriching your daily experience. Gratitude magnifies the positive in our lives and can slowly transform our internal dialogue from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Over time, this new perspective can change how you face life's challenges, turning them into opportunities to recognize and appreciate even more what is already good in your world. It's not just about feeling better in the present moment, but about building a foundation of contentment that can sustain you through the inevitable ups and downs life presents. 2. Embrace impermanence and practice letting go. Let's face it, our minds often get trapped in a cycle, replaying past events or worrying about the future. This is the playground of overthinking, where thoughts become sticky and linger longer than desired. It's a challenge that does not discriminate, affecting students anxious about exams, professionals stressed about presentations, or anyone trying to fall asleep while their mind races. In the midst of this mental marathon, we can find comfort in the words of Epicurus, who tells us that one who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive now. Though this quote may sound a bit heavy, it actually revolves around the concept of impermanence, which is fundamental to Stoicism. Everything changes, and this includes the thoughts that seem so persistent in our minds. When we overthink, we often cling to our thoughts as if they were permanent fixtures in our lives. Embracing impermanence means understanding that thoughts come and go. They are not eternal. This realization can be a beacon of hope when you feel trapped by overthinking. Practically, embracing impermanence involves cultivating the habit of letting go. It's a sort of mental decluttering where, consciously, we release thoughts that do not serve us. You can do this by imagining a river where each thought is a leaf on the water's surface drifting away, or perhaps you see them as ever-changing clouds, transforming and eventually moving on. This visualization not only provides immediate relief, but also instills a deeper understanding that the nature of thought is to change. Integrating this practice into your daily routine can transform your relationship with your thoughts. It's not about forcefully expelling them, but allowing them to leave. Letting go is not giving up. It's an act of courage. It means you choose not to let redundant thoughts occupy space in your head rent-free. As you get better at this, you'll notice a new mental space, a calmness that was always there, hidden under the noise of overthinking. Embracing impermanence is not just a technique, it's a shift towards a more peaceful and present way of living. 3. Focus on effort, not outcome. Overthinking often arises from our mind's dance with the future, its outcomes, its what-ifs, and its relentless possibilities of failure and disappointment. This projection into the future can paralyze us with fear as we obsess over the potential consequences of our actions, rather than the actions themselves. We live in a result-oriented society, where the end often justifies the means, leading us to believe that if the outcome is uncertain, the journey isn't worth it. However, a Stoic quote from Epicurus offers us a clear directive. Do not explain your philosophy, live it. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our efforts and intentions, rather than the outcomes we can't control. This doesn't mean we shouldn't set goals or aspire to achieve great things, but it does imply that the real value lies in the quality of our effort, the integrity of our actions, and the virtue with which we navigate our path. To apply this technique, whenever you find yourself overthinking about the potential outcomes of your efforts, consciously redirect your thoughts to the effort itself. Ask yourself, are you giving your best? Are you acting with good intention? Are you staying true to your values? This approach involves being fully present in the process, putting in the work, and knowing that your responsibility ends there. Focusing on effort can free us from the chains of overthinking, allowing us to be in the moment, give our best without the heavy shadow of what could be darkening our experience. It transforms our actions from mere steps toward an outcome into expressions of our character and commitment. With this shift in focus, you discover that your path is not just a means to an end, but an embodiment of living purposefully, where each step is an achievement in itself. These last 3 strategies open the door to new perspectives, allowing you to tap into unexplored strengths, foster practical resilience, and manage life's complexities with a sense of balance. 4. Take control by refocusing your energy. Have you ever found yourself trapped in a spiral of what-ifs and apocalyptic scenarios, replaying the same worries over and over until you feel mentally exhausted? It's like having multiple tabs open in your mind, each with a video playing at full volume, and it seems you can't pause it. This mental multitasking is a hallmark of modern life, where the pressure to keep up with everything can lead to an endless cycle of overthinking. But just like a cluttered desk, a cluttered mind needs organizing. Redirecting your mental energy is not just about finding peace of mind, but about regaining control and silencing the incessant noise of what could be, so you can appreciate what is. Seneca, another wise Stoic, expressed wisdom with his words when he said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." This sage advice serves as a cornerstone for taking control by refocusing your energy. To stop overthinking, start by anchoring yourself in the now. Focus on one task, even something small, and channel your energy into completing it. This shift in focus takes you out of the whirlpool of what-ifs about the future and anchors you in the present moment. The practical application is simple yet profound. Engage in an activity that requires your full attention. It could be something as simple as organizing your workspace, taking a brisk walk, or immersing yourself in a book. These actions require the now, not tomorrow or yesterday. By aligning your thoughts with your actions, you're not just distracting yourself, you're taking command of where your mental energy flows. Remember, Stoicism is not about suppressing thoughts, but managing them. By choosing where to invest your mental energy, you're practicing a form of mental discipline. The goal is not to completely avoid overthinking. That would be an unrealistic expectation. The goal is to recognize when your thoughts are not serving you and have the tools to redirect them. It's like training a muscle. The more you exercise this power of redirection, the stronger and more resilient your mind becomes. You'll find that the overwhelming tide of overthinking, which once dominated you, can be tamed wave by wave with deliberate actions and presence in the present moment. 5. Visualize your overthinking as an external force. Imagine your overthinking as an external force, something that lurks in your mind like fog, hovering on what was once a clear and sunny day. It starts as a single worry or idea, but quickly expands until it knocks you down, like a storm suddenly unleashed in today's world. We are constantly bombarded with information like hail in a storm, and our minds are filled with questions. How? What if? What comes next? What could have been? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and emperor, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This quote leads us to our first technique to combat overthinking. Visualize it as an external force. It's not about turning your thoughts into enemies, but recognizing that these invasive thoughts are not the core of who you are. They are like invaders of your mental peace. Imagine those intrusive thoughts as clouds passing over a majestic mountain. You are that mountain, firm and unmovable, while the clouds momentarily move around you. How can you defend against these invaders? Stoicism teaches us to observe without emotional involvement. You can imagine placing those thoughts in a bubble and then watching them float away from you. This mental exercise not only reduces their weight, but also reinforces the understanding that thoughts are transient. They can only disturb your peace if you cling to them and give them power. Practicing this visualization creates a mental reflex that helps you detach and let go of these thoughts before they turn into an emotional storm. As you become better at distinguishing yourself from this avalanche of overthinking, it becomes easier to see that you are not simply the sum of your thoughts. This distinction acts as a shield, akin to earplugs in a noisy crowd. It's a deliberate and ongoing effort that strengthens with daily practice. When you realize you're starting to overthink, stop and visualize that thought as unnecessary noise. Separate from who you are at your core. By doing this, you're not only protecting yourself against overthinking, but also reclaiming your mental territory and peace, one step at a time. Each time you practice this technique, you're strengthening your ability to maintain calm and find serenity amidst mental chaos. 6. Create a worry period. It's a common human experience to have worries nagging at the back of our minds, persistent like the hum of a refrigerator, always there, sometimes barely noticeable, but undeniably present. Worries can hijack our thoughts at any moment, often when we're trying to focus on work, enjoy time with friends, or even when trying to sleep. It's as if our mind is a stage, and these worries are uninvited actors that won't leave. But consider this wisdom from the Stoic master Epictetus. If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This quote might seem off-topic, but it's a bold reminder to prioritize our mental peace over succumbing to worries about appearing compliant or naive. Creating a worry period is a strategic way to give these worries their moment on stage, but only during the viz, not as the main act. Set aside a specific time each day, maybe 20 minutes in the afternoon, when you allow yourself to fully attend to these worries. During this designated time, delve into your worries, scrutinize them, understand their roots, and even write them down. What are you really worried about? How likely are these scenarios? What can you do about them? This focused session often reveals that many of our worries are like shadows, seemingly big, but lacking much substance when faced directly. This process also teaches your mind that there is a time and place for worrying, and it's not all day, every day. And then, when the worry period ends, you move on. You've given your worries their allotted time, and now you set them aside. By compartmentalizing them in this way, you can regain control over your day. The goal is not to stop worrying completely. That's impossible. But by containing your worries, you reduce their impact on your life. This technique is like tidying your mental room, putting thoughts where they belong and enjoying the tranquility of an organized space. You'll likely find that worries lose their power when not allowed to roam freely, and life becomes a bit lighter and more enjoyable. 7. Decompress overwhelming thoughts into concrete steps. When overthinking strikes, it can feel like we're carrying the weight of a giant rock. The size of our worries seems to match the weight of the whole world, and we're trapped under the dense cloud of our own thoughts. This feeling is not unique. It's a shared human condition, aggravated in a world that demands high performance in all areas of life: work, relationships, personal growth, and social status. The pressure to excel can paralyze us with indecision and fear. As a guide through this fog of overthinking, Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound insight is the foundation of our 5th technique, transforming overwhelming thoughts into concrete steps. When your mind is plagued by a big worry or complex problem, the trick is to break it down into smaller, manageable parts. Ask yourself, what is the next step I can take? Not all 5, 10, or 20 steps forward, just the next one. Acting on a single step may seem trivial, but it's a powerful antidote to overthinking. By focusing on one action, you channel the energy of worrying into doing. It's akin to untangling a large knot, working on one small tangle at a time. You're not ignoring the complexity of your worries. You're navigating through them with purpose and precision. The beauty of this technique lies in its simplicity and effectiveness. Each small step you take builds momentum, and looking back, you realize that rock of worry is now a pile of pebbles. You've progressed step by step. This method teaches patience, resilience, and confidence in the ability to face challenges head-on. Suddenly, what once seemed insurmountable is behind you, and overthinking transforms into a feeling of accomplishment and clarity. 8. Seek wisdom beyond yourself. This is crucial. When we're caught in the whirlwind of overthinking, our minds often turn into a complex labyrinth, where each effort to find a way out seems to lead us to greater confusion and overanalysis. We try to solve a puzzle only to find the pieces seem to multiply endlessly, trapping us in an endless cycle. This essence of overthinking is a cycle that begins and ends within the bounds of our own thoughts. Often, it offers no clear and definitive way out. Seneca, a man revered for his wisdom, gave us invaluable advice. Consult your friend in everything, especially in those matters concerning yourself. His advice can be helpful where your own self-love might cloud your judgment. These simple words encapsulate a profound truth that can serve as a compass in the stormy seas of overthinking. Stoicism teaches us that seeking perspectives outside our own can break the endless cycle of rumination. This insight might come from a friend with a fresh view, the objective advice of a mentor, or the timeless wisdom found in literature. To apply this principle in a modern context, it's crucial to seek the opinion of people you trust and respect. This could be someone in your close circle or a professional with the necessary experience to guide you. Sharing your thoughts with them not only provides clarity as you articulate what's on your mind, but also opens the door to objective feedback that you might have overlooked while immersed in a whirlwind of thoughts. This technique offers not just practical solutions, but also reminds us that human connection is invaluable. When we share our burdens with others, they often become lighter. This isn't a sign of weakness, but an acknowledgement of the collective strength we possess as social beings. Let the wisdom of others be the light guiding you out of the shadows of overthinking. With each conversation, you'll find the puzzle becomes easier to solve, not because the problems are less complex, but because you're no longer trying to solve them alone. In connecting with others, you'll find the support needed to tackle even the most intricate challenges, and together you'll find solutions that you might not see on your own. 9. Practicing voluntary discomfort. Practicing voluntary discomfort is a powerful strategy for freeing ourselves from the cycle of overanalysis that often traps us when facing uncomfortable situations or life changes. Our minds tend to create imaginary scenarios over and over, trying to anticipate every possible outcome and preparing for any imaginable discomfort. This constant mental rumination can be exhausting and keeps us trapped in our comfort zone, a kind of mental prison where personal growth stagnates and overanalysis becomes our jailer. Consciously facing voluntary discomfort allows us to train our minds to handle uncertainty and reduce overanalysis. It involves performing chosen small actions that take us out of our comfort zone, teaching us resilience and adaptability in the process. To integrate this practice into modern life, start with something small, like taking a cold shower, sleeping without a pillow, or walking instead of driving. Do something that disrupts your usual routine and sit with any feelings that arise without judging yourself. It's important to understand that this practice is not intended to punish you. Rather, it's about proving to yourself that discomfort is not as terrifying as your over-analytical mind paints it to be. Voluntary discomfort has a paradoxical effect. By routinely exposing yourself to discomfort, the unknown becomes familiar, and your mind learns to calm down. You become less reactive to change and more focused on what you can control, your responses and attitudes in the face of difficult situations. This powerful shift in perspective not only reduces overanalysis, but also builds an internal core of strength and resilience that is unaffected by the natural fluctuations of life's circumstances. By practicing voluntary discomfort, you become more capable of facing challenges, accepting the unknown, and finding peace amidst uncertainty. Over time, this practice provides a deep sense of confidence and inner strength that accompanies you in all facets of life. 10. Reflect on the transience of life. When we find ourselves caught in the storm of overthinking, it's usually because we've focused too much on the minute details of our lives, losing sight of the bigger picture. Our thoughts become a tangle of, "What if this happens?" or "What if that doesn't work?" causing us to lose perspective. This microscopic view can make even the smallest problem seem insurmountable, consuming our mental space and energy. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short life, but that we make it so. We are not ill-provided, but waste what we have." This reminder encourages us to reflect on the fleeting nature of our existence. Every moment spent overthinking is a moment not fully lived, a slice of life not savored. Stoicism urges us to ask if our worries will carry any weight in the timeline of our life. To counteract overthinking, we we must regularly step back and consider our life as a whole, recognizing that many of the things occupying our thoughts are transient and, in the long run, insignificant. When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts, stop and remember that life is fleeting. Ask yourself if this moment of overthinking is truly worth the limited time you have. Reflecting on the transience of life helps us naturally prioritize our experiences and concerns. This is not an invitation to become gloomy or indifferent, but rather to appreciate the present and focus on what truly matters. It's a powerful antidote against overthinking, aligning our attention with the present, enriching our appreciation for the now, and lessening the weight of future-focused anxieties. Let the ephemeral nature of life not be a source of anxiety, but a canvas on which you paint with the vivid colors of presence and engaged living. We are taught the idea that we should give, share, and prioritize generosity over our personal interests. However, we are also warned about the dangers of being overly kind and compassionate. We live in a world where we don't always receive what we give, as it's filled with generous people who deplete their financial and energy resources through indiscriminate donations. If it's your first time on my channel, I ask for your help by subscribing and liking the video, so I can continue creating more content like this. In the future, excessive generosity could even endanger our own lives. Be amazed by the unexpected negative effects kindness can bring. Today, I'll reveal the 8 things that happen to you for being too nice and introduce 4 Stoic strategies to prevent others from taking advantage of you. Let's start without further ado. Number 1. You'll have unrealistic expectations of people. The Stoics emphasize the need to accept circumstances as they are and not base our happiness on the actions of others. By giving without expecting too much in return, you avoid disappointment and practice emotional detachment, leading to greater mental peace. Imagine this scenario. You strive to be generous and kind, giving your best to others without expecting anything in return. This attitude is noble, but often we find ourselves expecting, consciously or unconsciously, that others will respond with the same level of generosity. We expect people to recognize our efforts and reciprocate similarly. But what happens when these expectations are not met? The root of this problem lies in our expectations. By assuming that others will respond as we do, we put ourselves in a vulnerable position. While it's natural to wish for others to appreciate and value our actions, Stoicism reminds us that we can't control others' actions, only our own actions and reactions. It's hard for us to be completely altruistic in our generosity. Consciously or unconsciously, when we give our all, we expect others to do the same. However, you have become so accustomed to doing everything for them that they will take for granted that you can handle everything in their lives and yours, especially yours. Why would they assume your responsibilities? The truth is, your expectations of reciprocity will not be met, and you will end up in a bad mood, tired, frustrated, and disappointed. Stoicism teaches us that our true wealth lies in our ability to give without expecting anything in return, finding joy in the act of giving itself, and maintaining our mental peace regardless of others' responses. Number 2. People will only expect you to give them something. The practice of moderation, so valued by the Stoics, becomes an anchor in a sea of endless demands. Instead of yielding to the unlimited requests of others, Stoicism urges us to balance our generosity. By giving in a measured way, we maintain control over our actions and avoid falling into patterns that deplete our emotional well-being. People often adapt to comfortable situations and environments, a human tendency that gives rise to the concept of the comfort zone. If we constantly take on others' responsibilities, we allow them to remain in their comfort zones, feeling no need to grow or face challenges, knowing we'll always be there to cover for them. The problem isn't just for them, but for us too. By taking on too many of others' burdens, we neglect our own needs and priorities, getting trapped in a cycle of giving without receiving, which drains our energy and undermines our emotional well-being. Practicing moderation and balanced giving allows you to maintain control over your actions and avoid habits that wear down your emotional health. If you're accustomed to giving all the time, those who benefit from your generosity will expect it constantly. It's important to give, but also crucial to maintain a balance. By setting clear boundaries and practicing balanced generosity, we preserve not only our own peace and well-being, but also encourage others to take up their own responsibilities and grow as individuals. In this delicate balance, we find true generosity that nourishes both others and ourselves. Number 3, your priorities will be trampled. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living according to reason and virtue, setting boundaries and prioritizing our own essential responsibilities to maintain balance and avoid sacrificing our authenticity and well-being for others. If you're constantly giving in to others' priorities, you might be running from something within you that causes pain and fear. The emotions that arise in these moments of solitude can be overwhelming. The emptiness, deafening silence, and longing for connection can cause deep emotional distress. It's in these moments that we often seek refuge in the needs of others, immersing ourselves in serving them as a way to fill our own internal void. The cost of this unceasing giving is high. You lose yourself in the process. Your inner voice is drowned out by external demands, and sooner or later, when faced with the stillness of your own being, the pain and fear you've been trying to avoid emerge with renewed force. It's crucial to recognize that attending to our own needs and priorities is not selfishness, but a form of self-care and preservation of our authenticity. The Stoics teach us that setting boundaries and living according to our own virtues is not just an act of self-love, but also a path to an authentic and meaningful life. Next time you're tempted to run from yourself in constant service to others, take a moment. Recognize those uncomfortable emotions that arise in solitude and embrace them with compassion. Allow yourself to be authentic in your desires and needs, set healthy boundaries, and learn to say no when necessary. You'll find that by honoring your own authenticity, you not only strengthen yourself internally, but also can offer balanced and genuine generosity to others from a place of fullness and authenticity. Number 4, being perceived as weak and treated as such is a common pitfall. Stoicism encourages us to develop inner strength and self-control, emphasizing the importance of setting boundaries and practicing self-discipline. If you're overly helpful over time, you might be seen as an authority figure in your area of collaboration. However, you could also give the exact opposite impression. Lack of boundaries makes you vulnerable, and people may sense this weakness. Instead of respecting you, they might start taking advantage of you, seeing you as someone willing to take on others' responsibilities without question. This can lead to a state of constant overload, exhaustion, and frustration. But when you start to say no firmly yet respectfully, an incredible shift happens. People start seeing you differently, no longer as someone who takes on everything without complaint. Now, you're seen as someone who values themselves enough to set limits, deserving of dignity and consideration. This change in perception is crucial. By uttering that small word, you transform how others see you, no longer an easy target for others' incessant demands. You're a strong individual capable of defending your boundaries and thus deserving of respect. Ultimately, respect comes not only from what you do for others, but also from how you treat yourself. By setting boundaries and practicing self-discipline, you're sending a clear message to the world. You deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where your limits are being tested, remember the power of that small word. By saying no, you're defending yourself and affirming your worth. Number 5, you'll face many challenges. People will come to you only when they need something. Being someone willing to help unconditionally naturally draws attention. However, this attention can have a dark side. Those who once saw you as a good friend might start excluding you from fun social activities, reserving your presence only for when they need something. This behavior might seem cruel, but pragmatically, it's not surprising. People rarely invite employees or collaborators to leisure activities. Such invitations are more commonly extended to close friends, family, or those with whom they have a genuine equal relationship. this shift in treatment can be disconcerting and unfair. You find yourself in a position where you give freely only to feel excluded from joyful, relaxed moments. This selective treatment can hurt, causing feelings of disillusionment and betrayal. However, from the Stoic perspective, this behavior is a test of your discernment. It challenges you to recognize who genuinely values your friendship and appreciation and who is merely taking advantage of your generosity. Remember, Stoicism doesn't advocate becoming cynical or distrustful, but rather encourages cultivating a deep understanding of human nature. Through discernment, you can choose to help those who genuinely need it and will value your genuine support. In doing so, you not only protect your own energies and resources, but also surround yourself with people who appreciate you for who you are, not just for what you can give them. Ultimately, this challenge offers you the opportunity to practice Stoic self-discipline. You can choose to set clear boundaries and decide how you wish to spend your energy and time. By keeping your generosity balanced and focused on those who truly value your help, you can live according to Stoic principles, finding peace and satisfaction amid the complexities of human relationships. Number 6. You will only attract needy individuals and never those willing to give, as per Stoic beliefs. Our actions and thoughts emit energy, drawing people with similar resonances. By nurturing a positive mental and emotional state, we radiate higher vibrations, attracting equally positive, generous, enthusiastic, and genuine individuals. However, indiscriminate giving and emotional and physical exhaustion weaken our energy. This lower frequency attracts needy people who, far from being genuine and giving in a mutual relationship, approach us solely for their own needs. This frequency also attracts opportunists who neither intend nor have the resources to help, but see us as an easy source for their desires. The key, according to Stoicism, lies in discernment and self-discipline. We must learn to recognize when we are overgiving and depleting our energies. This involves setting clear boundaries and practicing moderation in our generosity. In doing so, we maintain high vibrations and attract those who value our authenticity and are willing to contribute reciprocally. Being aware of our energies and practicing balanced generosity allows us to cultivate authentic, mutually beneficial relationships based on reciprocity, respect, and genuine mutual appreciation, rather than one-sided exploitation. Ultimately, this aligns us with Stoic principles and fosters true human connection rooted in honesty and integrity. Number 7. You could fall into addiction. Stoics warn about the risk of addiction as a reminder of the importance of moderation and self-control in maintaining a balanced and healthy life. In the context of generosity, practicing self-discipline protects us from addictive patterns that may emerge when we are constantly exhausted and needy due to overextension. Living by Stoic principles means recognizing that generosity must be balanced. Unmeasured, unrestricted giving can deplete our emotional and physical reserves, leading us to seek relief in addictive ways, such as overeating, drinking, or gaming. Stoicism teaches us to heed warning signs from those close to us. If a trusted person points out our over-reliance on certain behaviors, we should take these observations seriously. Although denial is a natural initial reaction, especially when caught in the cycle of a budding addiction, these concerns come from a place of genuine care and love. Accepting these observations with humility and gratitude is a critical step towards self-awareness and personal growth. By doing so, we practice Stoicism in action, applying principles of moderation and self-control to avoid addictive traps that could undermine our health and well-being. Remember, those who care for us do so with the intent of helping us overcome challenges and move towards a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Taking their observations seriously demonstrates deep consideration for our well-being and a genuine commitment to our personal growth and long-term happiness. Number 8. You will arouse suspicions. Stoicism encourages us to act virtuously, regardless of how others may perceive us. By focusing on living in harmony with our principles and values, we build a genuine reputation that is resilient to unfounded suspicions. Though we wish things were different, the truth is genuinely kind people are scarce in this world. Hence, if you are one of them, you're more likely to arouse suspicion rather than admiration and gratitude. It won't be long before your kindness makes people wonder what's going on with you and what hidden intentions you have that you reveal to no one. This means you've encountered a group of distrustful people, not necessarily, but it's more likely they are just being realistic. Most overly enthusiastic people tend to hide intentions so sinister, it's better to stay away from them and decline the help they want to offer. Let's look at strategies to prevent people from using you. Strategy number 1, listen to your feelings. They are speaking to you. Based on Stoic self-awareness, pay attention to your emotions and feelings. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-reflection to understand your reactions and needs. By listening to your feelings, you can identify if you are giving too much and emotionally draining yourself, allowing you to adjust your approach and find a healthy balance. How do you feel when helping others, thinking of yourself and prioritizing them? It's such an altruistic act that practicing it should make you feel like you are walking on clouds. So, if you feel overwhelmed, without energy, angry, or used, it's time to pay attention to your feelings. If something you're not obliged to do causes you so much discomfort, you must not deceive yourself to discover how the help you're providing affects your well-being. Strategy number 2, lose the fear of saying no. Following Stoic teachings, recognize that your time and energy are valuable and should be allocated consciously and balancedly. Saying no in situations where you feel overwhelmed or when the request is unfair is a way to exercise self-control. Although the word no is associated with negative behavior and pessimism, it's normal for us to struggle to say it. However, negativity will become our life if we don't develop the skill to say this word when someone demands more than we can give. Practice in front of the mirror and convince yourself that it's the only way to regain your freedom and avoid unnecessary and potential risks. Strategy number 3, there is a time and space for you. Respect them. Following Stoic principles of self-discipline and self-respect, it's essential to set aside time and space to care for yourself. Do what you enjoy. Practice yoga, draw, listen to music while having a cup of tea, whatever motivates you. Finish your obligations as soon as possible so you can practice. This is something you should take very seriously as scheduling this time daily or weekly. Therefore, if someone asks for help during this time, they should be very respectful and cooperative with you, not the other way around. Then, without remorse, tell them no, and enjoy that time and space just for you. If you don't want to be too blunt, you can offer your help for another time, but always make it clear that your availability will be limited because you have a life to attend to. Strategy number 4, identify energy vampires and stay away from them. Following Stoic principles of self-discipline and discernment, it's important to recognize which relationships benefit you and which may emotionally drain you. By distancing yourself from people who constantly drain your energy and do not contribute positively, you're taking care of your own well-being and applying Stoic self-control in your relationships. If you try to help an energy vampire, you should know it won't work. These people overwhelm you with their complaints, pains, and catastrophic view of life. Forget about helping them. They don't want to solve their problems because that would mean they have to stop complaining, something they wouldn't tolerate. In conclusion, according to Stoic wisdom in life, the best measure for things is always the middle ground, and generosity is no exception. If we give too little, we seem selfish and greedy, while if we give too much, we end up completely drained of energy, time, and probably money too. So lean towards the grays, which remain the preferred tones when it comes to finding a balance between prioritizing others and ourselves. And when in doubt, always remember the magic word, no, especially if they are offering to drive you home from the car window. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, Seneca once said. This simple yet profound statement has reshaped the way I perceive life's challenges. In this video, I'm going to share with you a personal journey, how embracing Stoic indifference transformed my perspective and helped me focus on what truly matters. Join me as we delve into these ancient teachings and discover how they can bring clarity, resilience, and peace into our modern lives. Stoic indifference, often misunderstood, is actually about discerning what's in our control and what's not. It's not about being emotionless, but rather choosing where to invest our emotional energy wisely. For example, consider the daily commute. We often get frustrated with traffic, something entirely out of our control. Stoicism teaches us to shift our focus. Instead of stewing in anger over the traffic, we could use that time to listen to an audiobook, reflect on our day, or simply enjoy the music. Here, Stoic indifference means recognizing the futility of fretting over the uncontrollable and redirecting our energy to something enriching or calming. Another practical application is in our interactions with others. When someone criticizes us, our immediate reaction might be to become defensive or upset. However, Stoicism invites us to pause and consider what is within our control, our response. We can choose to evaluate the criticism objectively, take any constructive feedback, and disregard what's unhelpful instead of letting it disturb our peace of mind. Epictetus once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This principle lies at the heart of Stoic indifference. It's about embracing the power we have over our reactions, attitudes, and where we choose to focus our efforts. In Stoicism, the essence of empowerment lies in understanding the boundary between control and acceptance. It's about recognizing that while we can steer our own actions, thoughts, and reactions, many aspects of life remain beyond our direct influence. Take, for instance, our professional life. We can control the effort we put into our work, our willingness to learn, and how we interact with colleagues. However, factors like company policies, market conditions, or decisions made by higher-ups are not in our immediate control. Accepting this distinction helps in reducing workplace stress and focusing our energy on personal excellence and growth. Similarly, in our personal relationships, we can control how we communicate and the respect and love we offer. Yet, how others feel or act is not ours to dictate. Accepting this can be liberating. It prevents unnecessary strains caused by trying to change people and instead fosters healthier relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Marcus Aurelius wisely pointed out, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the core of Stoic control and acceptance. It's about finding strength in focusing on our inner world, our responses and actions, while peacefully coexisting with the external factors we cannot change. Inner peace in Stoicism is often achieved through a thoughtful practice of detachment. This doesn't mean we become indifferent to the world around us, but rather we learn to detach ourselves from the grip of external events and outcomes. Imagine you're working on a project that's deeply important to you. You invest your time, effort, and skills into it. Stoic philosophy teaches us to detach from the outcome. Yes, we strive for success, but we also understand that factors like other people's opinions, market trends, or sheer luck play a role in the result. By detaching ourselves from these uncontrollable elements, we maintain our inner peace regardless of the outcome. Our self-worth isn't tied to success or failure, but rather to the effort and integrity we bring to the task. This principle also applies to our personal aspirations. Let's say you're trying to adopt a healthier lifestyle. You control your diet and exercise routine, but the scale might not always reflect your expectations. Detachment in this context means focusing on the health benefits and enjoyment of these activities rather than fixating on the numbers on the scale. Epictetus advised, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well." This encapsulates the Stoic approach to detachment, embracing life as it unfolds while maintaining a calm and composed inner world. In the Stoic philosophy, virtue isn't just a concept, it's the cornerstone of a meaningful life. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, through the cultivation of virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Consider the virtue of wisdom. It's about more than just knowledge. It's the practical understanding of what is good for us and what is not. In daily life, wisdom guides us to make decisions that align with our values and long-term well-being, rather than succumbing to short-term desires or societal pressures. Courage in Stoicism isn't just bravery in the face of physical danger. It's also about moral courage. It's the strength to stand up for what's right, speak the truth, and stick to our principles, even when it's inconvenient or unpopular. It's about overcoming the fear of judgment or failure and acting with integrity. Justice, another key Stoic virtue, involves fairness, kindness, and social responsibility. It's about treating others with respect and empathy and contributing to the well-being of our community. This virtue reminds us that our actions should not only benefit us, but also contribute positively to those around us. Temperance, or self-control, is about moderation in all aspects of life. It teaches us to resist excess and impulsive behaviors, leading to a balanced and harmonious life. Seneca eloquently stated, "Virtue is nothing else than right reason." In Stoicism, living virtuously means aligning our actions with rational thinking and ethical standards, forming the foundation for a deeply satisfying and meaningful life. Stoicism is not just a theoretical philosophy, it's rich with practical exercises that can be woven into our daily lives. These exercises are designed to strengthen our Stoic virtues and help us apply Stoic principles in real-life situations. One such exercise is the practice of negative visualization. It might sound counterintuitive, but by imagining the loss of things we value, be it our job, possessions, or even loved ones, we learn to appreciate them more deeply. This isn't about dwelling on sadness, but about cherishing the present moment and not taking anything for granted. For instance, at the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on something you're grateful for, imagining how you'd feel if it were gone. This practice nurtures an appreciation for the present and fortifies us against future adversities. Another powerful exercise is reflective journaling. Each night, write down your thoughts about the day. What did you do well? Where could you improve? This isn't about being harsh on yourself, but about honest self-reflection and learning. By regularly examining our actions and motives, we develop greater self-awareness and a clearer understanding of how to live in accordance with Stoic principles. Epictetus encouraged us to ask ourselves daily, what ailment of mine have I cured today? What failing have I resisted? In what respect am I better? These questions encapsulate the essence of Stoic exercises, a continuous journey towards self-improvement, inner peace, and resilience. Stoicism offers a robust framework for challenging and overcoming irrational beliefs that often cloud our judgment and hinder our happiness. These beliefs can be deeply ingrained, stemming from societal norms, past experiences, or our own misconceptions. One common irrational belief is the idea that we must be universally liked and approved of. Stoicism teaches us that such an expectation is not only unrealistic, but also outside our control. Instead, we should focus on our own character and actions. When facing criticism or disapproval, ask yourself, is there truth in this criticism? What can I learn from it? If it's constructive, use it for personal growth. If not, let it go. This approach fosters a healthier self-image and emotional resilience. Another irrational belief is that we must always be successful and never fail. Stoicism, however, encourages us to view failure as a natural part of the human experience and a valuable learning opportunity. It teaches us to detach our self-worth from external achievements and to find fulfillment in our own efforts and moral integrity. Seneca advised, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." This wisdom is particularly relevant when challenging irrational fears and anxieties. By questioning the validity of our fears and examining their root causes, we can replace them with more rational, stoic perspectives, leading to a more peaceful and grounded life. Living in accordance with nature is a central tenet of Stoicism, and it offers a profound guideline for how we can lead our lives. This principle is not just about environmental awareness. It's about understanding and embracing our natural roles and capacities as rational social beings. In the context of our personal lives, living according to nature means acknowledging and respecting our own strengths, limitations, and innate characteristics. It involves aligning our life choices with our true selves rather than trying to conform to societal expectations or external pressures. For instance, if you naturally excel at empathetic listening and understanding, you might find fulfillment in careers or activities that utilize these strengths, like counseling or teaching. Socially, living in accordance with nature involves recognizing our interconnectedness with others and our role in the larger community. It encourages us to engage in cooperative, just, and altruistic behaviors. Practically, this could mean volunteering in community services, fostering positive relationships, and contributing to the common good. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic himself, wrote, "Constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul." This view reminds us that we are part of a larger whole, and that our actions should be in harmony with this greater order. By living in accordance with our nature and the nature of the world, we find a sense of belonging and purpose, which is essential for a fulfilling life. Stoicism, rich in its history, offers a wealth of wisdom from its philosophers. Learning from their teachings and experiences provides us with timeless insights that are as relevant today as they were in ancient times. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher, left us a remarkable source of wisdom in his Meditations. His writings, filled with personal reflections, encourage us to find inner strength and resilience. He reminds us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. His thoughts guide us to focus on our internal responses rather than external events, a valuable lesson in today's fast-paced world. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, offers practical advice on handling life's challenges. His letters and essays are replete with guidance on everything, from dealing with anger to the importance of time management. Seneca's perspective on the shortness of life urges us to live meaningfully and not waste our time on trivial matters. Epictetus, born a slave and later a revered Stoic teacher, emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. His famous Enchiridion begins with the principle that some things are in our control and others not. This simple yet profound insight is at the core of Stoic thought and teaches us to invest our efforts wisely. By studying these philosophers, we not only gain knowledge of Stoic principles, but also practical examples of how to apply them in our daily lives. Their teachings act as a compass, guiding us towards living a life of virtue, resilience, and inner peace. Our applying Stoic principles in the context of modern life can be incredibly transformative. Stoicism, though ancient, provides practical tools to navigate the complexities and challenges of our contemporary world. In our professional lives, Stoicism teaches us to approach work with a focus on what we can control, our effort, attitude, and ethics. It encourages us to detach from outcomes like promotions or recognition, which are often beyond our control. For example, when faced with a demanding project or a difficult colleague, Stoicism advises us to maintain composure and focus on doing our best work, rather than getting entangled in office politics or external validation. In personal relationships, Stoicism helps us cultivate patience, understanding, and empathy. It teaches us to accept others as they are, recognizing that their actions and feelings are outside our control. This perspective can lead to healthier, more harmonious relationships where conflicts are resolved through rational dialogue rather than emotional reactions. Stoicism also offers valuable insights into dealing with the constant stream of information and digital distractions of our age. It encourages us to be mindful of our consumption, focusing on quality over quantity, and to spend our time on activities that genuinely enrich our lives. Moreover, in an era of rapid change and uncertainty, Stoic principles like focusing on the present, accepting change as a natural part of life, and finding contentment within ourselves are more relevant than ever. They provide a grounding philosophy that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. In essence, Stoicism in modern life isn't about withdrawing from the world, but engaging with it more thoughtfully, with an emphasis on internal well-being and ethical living. As we come to the end of our exploration into Stoicism and its timeless wisdom, it's clear that this ancient philosophy offers much more than just a set of ideas. It provides a practical guide to living a fulfilling and resilient life. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what truly matters: our character, our actions, and our responses to the world around us. It invites us to cultivate inner peace through understanding what is within our control and accepting what is not. By practicing virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we can lead lives that are not only personally satisfying, but also contribute positively to those around us. I encourage you to take these lessons and apply them in your own life. Start small, perhaps with the practice of reflective journaling or by challenging one irrational belief. Remember, Stoicism is not about perfection, but about progress and personal growth. And finally, as Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Let this be a call to action for us to live differently, to live better, grounded in Stoic wisdom and virtue. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope these insights inspire you to explore Stoicism further and find your own path to a more mindful, virtuous, and peaceful life. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and stay connected to what truly matters.